Good made to everyone. It's already after the first Sdolim, the first 2 days of Pesach. And now we are preparing for Shvi Shel Pesach and Achlin Shel Pesach. And we are preparing for the Seder of Moshiach. There's an entry in Hayom Yom, and it's on the day of Achlin Shel Pesach. And we find it for Chof Beis Nisan, the 22nd day of Nisan, which is Achlin Shel Pesach. In Eretz Yisrael, Shvi Shel Pesach and Achlin Shel Pesach are together. The Rebbe talks about that too. In the diaspora, Shvi Shel Pesach is on the day of Chof Aleph Nisan, and Achlin Shel Pesach is on the day of Chof Beis Nisan. And the entry for Chof Beis Nisan, for Achlin Shel Pesach, is that the Baal Shem Tov would eat on Achlin Shel Pesach 3 seudas. The seudah of Achlin Shel Pesach was called by the Baal Shem Tov Moshiach's Seudah, the feast of Moshiach. And then the Rebbe says Achlin Shel Pesach is Moshiach's Seudah. Why is Achlin Shel Pesach the feast of Moshiach? While Achlin Shel Pesach is Meir Gilui HaOras HaMoshiach. We'll soon say what that means. And then the Rebbe says that in the year Tofresh Samach Vov, 1906, on the general calendar, they started to say that the Talmidim would eat the Seudah of Achlin Shel Pesach in the hall of the yeshiva. At that time there were 310 Talmidim and 18 tables. And the Rebbe Nishma Seiden ate the Seudah of Mashiach together with the Talmidim, and he also told the Hanhola that they should give every Talmid 4 cups of wine. Ve'omaros, and then the Rebbe Nishma Seiden said, "Dos is Seudas Mashiach." This is Seudas Mashiach. We said before that the Baal Shem Tov ate on Achlin Shel Pesach. The Baal Shem Tov ate the Seudas Mashiach, and he said because of Achlin Shel Pesach, Meir Gilui HaOras HaMoshiach. That means it shines a revelation of the light of Mashiach. On Achlin Shel Pesach shines a revelation of the light of Mashiach. That is the explanation why the Baal Shem Tov ate on Achlin Shel Pesach the Seudah of Mashiach. Comes a Jew, maybe from Chachmei Lizhanke, and he says, he's not going to argue, the Baal Shem Tov wants to eat Seudas Mashiach, that's his decision. But why only in Achlin Shel Pesach? And why Achlin Shel Pesach? Different than any other day. What is the explanation? We will return to that in a moment. But first, our customary story. My dear friend at Shalom Bergansburg, Zalzan Gesund, who was always a Meshamish Bakedesh for many years in the Rebbe's house, and even slept in the Rebbe's house, on the 3rd floor. When he moved into the house, he didn't know, or he didn't want to eat the Seder by the Rebbe, so he prepared everything, and then he went to his father. However, he wanted to be back after washing, and so he can serve the Rebbe and the Rebbe's and the fish and the soup and the meat and so on. When he came back, the Rebbetzin says to him, Gansburg, where were you? My husband is waiting for you for the Seder. The Rebbe didn't start the Seder yet, and he was waiting for Shalom Ber. And now the Rebbe is waiting for him. He didn't do the Kaira, he didn't do anything. And for a moment, he didn't know what to do. And then he says God gave him an idea. He opened up the Haggadah, and he looked exactly what it said in the Haggadah. You saw that al Shulchan, you should put on 3 matzahs. It says in the Haggadah 3 matzahs, he put on 3 matzahs. And after that, he put on whatever, the simonim on the Seder, the Zreya, the Chadesis, everything. And the Rebbe was sitting and waiting patiently until he finished to be Mesader his kaila, and then the Rebbe started the Seder. There is a story of a chassid, Rabbi Shmuel Butman, and he was known by Chassidim as Rabbi Shmuel Butman. He was a chassid of the Alter Rebbe, of the Mittel Rebbe, and of the Tzemach Tzedek. And he would come for Pesach. He would come sometimes to Lubavitch for Pesach. The Seder in the days of the Tzemach Tzedek, that at the Seder of the Tzemach Tzedek, invited were only family members, sons-in-law, and so on. The Chassidim who were there for Pesach, the Tzemach Tzedek would send them to the Achsanya, to where they stayed. He would send them matzah, and he would send them wine, and he would send them moder, and he would send them chalesis. And they would deliver that the day before Pesach. They made a list. The one who was memuna, the one who was in charge of the list, was Hirschel der Geller. Hirschel with the yellow beard. He was the one who was in charge. He was the manager. The one who actually delivered everything to the Chassidim on their Achsanya was also a gentleman whose name was Hirschel, but he had a black beard, so they called him Hirschel der Schwarzer. So Hirschel der Schwarzer is delivering to the Kusha Lepler the night before, to his Achsanya, the matzah, the wine, the moder, and the chalesis. When the Kusha Lepler, and he told him that the Rebbe sent him this. When he got these things, the Kusha Lepler took his quote. He would have a special quote that he would bring himself, and in that quote he put in the wine and the moder and the chalesis. He mixed them together, and he made a brocha, and he ate everything. Next day, when it came to the Seder, the Kusha doesn't have any wine, and he doesn't have any moder, and he doesn't have any chalesis. So he comes to the Tzemach Tzedek's house, he knocks on the door, and he comes in, and he says to the Tzemach Tzedek, he doesn't have any wine, and he doesn't have any moder, and he doesn't have any chalesis. So the Tzemach Tzedek says, "Who is Hirschel der Geller? They should call Hirschel der Geller." Hirschel der Geller came, and Tzemach Tzedek asks him, "Is the Kusha under the Shima?" He takes out on the list. He takes out the list. He says, "Yes, the Kusha is on the list of people who received the wine and the matzah and the wine and the moder and the chalesis." Was it delivered? He says, "Yeah, Hirschel der Schwarzer delivered." The Tzemach Tzedek says, "Call Hirschel der Schwarzer." Hirschel der Schwarzer was in his house trying to prepare the Seder, and a messenger comes and he says, "The Rebbe wants to see you immediately." He runs to the Rebbe's house. The Tzemach Tzedek asks him, "Did you deliver the wine, the matzah, the chalesis, the moder?" He says, "Absolutely." And he turns to the Kusha who was there, and he says, "You remember the Kusha I delivered to you yesterday, and you were sitting on this and this part of the Achsanya?" And the Kusha says, "Yeah, ich hab mekabel given. I did get it." When the Tzemach Tzedek heard that, a big smile was on the face of the Tzemach Tzedek, and the Tzemach Tzedek motioned to the Kusha Lepler that he should do the Seder at the table of the Tzemach Tzedek. And the Kusha later said that it took him 15 years, 15 years to implement all the things that he saw at the Rebbe's Seder. Going back to our question, to this wonderful Jew from Chachmi Lizhanke, who says, why on Simchas Torah, why on Achlin Shel Pesach do we do Mashiach Suda? Why is it different than any other day? Why special this day? The answer to that, in a nutshell, is that whether this person who's asking the question, whether he's an Ashkenazi or he's a Sfardi, whether he comes from Chassidim or he is of Litvish background, whether he is from Russia or from Poland or from Hungary or from Germany or from any other country from the Middle Eastern countries, from the Far Eastern countries, the Haftarah of Achlin Shel Pesach is the Haftarah in Yeshaya Yud Aleph, the Haftarah of Moshiach. On all shuls, independent of what they are, every shul, the Haftarah of Achlin Shel Pesach is the Haftarah of Moshiach. Now, the Rebbe says that there's an advantage for the people who are in Golus, because we in Golus say the Haftarah, Vedayim B'nei V'Lamed. In Eretz Yisrael, we do not have that Haftarah, because the Haftarah, in Eretz Yisrael, Shvi Shel Pesach and Achlin Shel Pesach are together, and it's the Haftarah of Shiras David. So therefore, B'nei Eretz Yisrael are missing that Mashiach Haftarah, and the Rebbe says that we are moitzi them, that we in the diaspora are saying it also for them. So every Jew in Golus, in the diaspora, in meaning to say in any other country outside of Eretz Yisrael, says the Haftarah of Mashiach on Achlin Shel Pesach. So no one can come and say, why Achlin Shel Pesach? Look at the Haftarah that you said. And the Haftarah has to do with Mashiach. Where do we see that the Haftarah has to do with Mashiach? Let's open up the Sefer in Yeshaya. As mentioned before, it's Yeshaya Yud Aleph. Anybody can look it up at any time they want. And there in Yeshaya you're going to find V'yotzer chetel megeza Yishai, and there shall come forth a shoot out of the stock of Yishai, v'neitzel mishalosh of Yifre, and a twig will grow forth out of his roots, the roots of Yishai. And we know what the roots of Yishai are: David HaMelech, David Malko Meshicha, v'noch olav ruach Hashem, and the Spirit of God is going to rest upon him. Ruach Chochma Ubino, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding. Ruach Eitzo Gvulo, the Spirit of counsel and might. Ruach Das v'Yedas Hashem, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of God. And then it says, the famous psukim that many of us remember, V'gol Ze'evim Keves, and the wolf will dwell with the lamb, a Mashiach Posuk, a Mashiach prophecy. V'nomerim Gedi Yidbots, and the leopard will lie down with the kid, a Mashiach prophecy. V'na'al Kotein Neigbom, and a little child will lead them. And many other psukim, some of them will remember, they will not hurt, nor will they destroy in my holy mountain. The famous pasuk with which the Rambam ends his sefer, that the world is going to be filled with the knowledge of God, as the waters cover the sea. Where is all that? In the Haftarah of Yeshaya Yud Aleph, on Achlin Shel Pesach. V'noso neis lagoyim, and he will be a neis. Neis means a staff. Neis means a miracle. V'osaf nitche Yisrael, and he will assemble the dispersed of Israel. Unefutzes Yehuda Yekabetz, and he will gather together the scattered of Yehuda, me'al bakant v'zodas, from all four corners of the world. This is the Mashiach prophecy. And when do we say it? On Achlin Shel Pesach. Which means that on Achlin Shel Pesach, there is the light of Mashiach shines the strongest, according to everyone, on Achlin Shel Pesach. Now, what we see from what the Rebbe says in Ayem Yem, that there was the Sudas Mashiach, that's the Suda of Mashiach, and the previous Rebbe told the story, and the Rebbe Lishmo Seiden was dining together with the Talmidim, and he told the Anhola to give each Talmid 4 cases, 4 cups of wine. And he says, this is Mashiach Suda. The Rebbe in our generation asked that not only Talmidim of the yeshiva, that everyone should join a Suda of Mashiach on Achlin Shel Pesach. And not only that, and we should drink 4 cups of wine, and that we should say every cup that we drink, we should say that this is the first cup in order to greet Moshiach. I remember by a Fabringen of Achlin Shel Pesach, and people were saying L'chaim for the first course, the second course, the Rebbe would answer everyone. And somebody from far, I remember, screamed out, and since he said it loudly, he said, Ashayle afum deliten kos. He has a question on the third course whether he did drink. And the Rebbe answered, let them drink it again. So the Rebbe wanted that everyone should drink, not only Talmidei Yeshiva, everyone should drink 4 cases of wine. Moreover, the Rebbe instituted and introduced something new for the Rebbe said that there's a minhag to dance Moshiach's dance, Moshiach stance. Now you can interpret the Rebbe said Moshiach stance 2 ways: that it's a dance in anticipation of Moshiach, or Moshiach dance that Moshiach himself is dancing. And the Rebbe said, we are going to interpret that in a way that is most advantageous to us, that Mashiach himself is dancing with every group of Jews that are dancing on Achlin Shel Pesach. And after that, there was a Freilich Nicken, and the Rebbe got up and he danced. So which means on Achlin Shel Pesach, it's not that difficult. Let's not get scared. Mashiach Seudah does not have a great elaborate menu. The menu is the most simple menu. It's matzah. You wash on the matzah, and salt, and wine, and another piece water. That's the whole menu. Remember when the Rebbe would come in, good days, soon to start again? That was the menu. People would say, the Lubavitcher Rebbe is coming to do Mashiach Seudah. Who knows what kind of feast it's going to be? It's the simplest feast you can think about. It's matzah and wine and salt and a little bit of water. So everyone can participate. It's not difficult. So on Shabbos, Achlin Shel Pesach. In Etzisrael, it comes up to be Friday. On Shabbos, Achlin Shel Pesach, we get together in our shuls and we do the Arba cases, and we not only eat Mashiach Seudah, we dance Mashiach's dance. And Mashiach's dance has 2 interpretations. That's up to everyone. One is that we are anticipating his coming and we are already dancing. And the other one is that Mashiach is dancing with every group. A group of Jews get together, any part of the world. And they are dancing Mashiach's dance. Mashiach is dancing with them. That's what the Rebbe says. Mashiach is dancing with us. So this is our preparation for Moshiach. Moshiach Seudah Yimil Tashem on Shabbos, Achlin Shel Pesach. And as the years get closer, and the Rebbe already told us so many times that we are the last generation of Golus and the first generation of Geulah. So we're getting there. And when we look at what's happening in the world, Malchiyes Misgolis Zu Bezu, the Rebbe brings that. It's a Yalkut Shemini, it's a Medrash. Malchiyas, if you're going to see Malchiyas Misgolis Zu Bezu, that Malchiyas means kingdoms that are bickering with one another. Tzapei lelaglov shel Moshiach. Look out for the coming of Moshiach. Now, over the generations, many countries have bickered with each other. But it was never at the proportions that we have now. Now we're not talking about one nation against another nation. Whichever the nations are, everybody knows. Now we are talking about half of the world against the other half of the world. Now we're talking like monolitzlan about powers of destructions, of nuclear power, that can reach every citizen in the world. So such malchiyas misgoli zu bezu, that such bickering of the malchiyas against each other is unprecedented. So therefore, instead of getting involved with all the speculations, why did he do it and how did he do it and why did he need it and everything, let's not forget the message. There is a message here. Malchiyes misgolis zu bezu, of countries are bickering one with against the other in an unprecedented way, which we can see Tzapei l'raglav shel Mashiach. You should know that this is a sign for the coming of Mashiach. So therefore, now when we get together on Achlin Shel Pesach, we are anticipating Mashiach, and we're dancing. Mashiach's dance, and he's dancing with us. Gesundheit und Fröhlichkeit. And let's dance in, before that dance, into the Gula Ha'amitis Ve'ashlemo, Gesundheit und Fröhlichkeit. ובעגולו דידן, ובשמחו ובטוב ליבו, ובטבע נירה והניגלה, ולמטה מעשרות טפוחים, ובחסד, וברחמים, ותקף, ומיד ממש.